analysis will have job specification and job description. And all these three definitions are very important. They come in the final as definitions and they come as true or false in the quiz. So please focus, they are too easy. Okay? إيش يعني job analysis؟ لما أقول I will analyze something, it means I will break it down into its original components, right? طيب, why, before we know what is meant by the job analysis, why do we need to analyze the jobs or the positions in the organization? To make sure I will hire the right person to fill the right position, right? How can I know what kind of qualifications I needed to fill a certain position? By having that job analysis. Yes, exactly, Abander. Excellent. Excellent, يا لميا. Bravo عليكي. Okay, so the job analysis, it's important to match people to the available positions or posts or assignments. طب إيش يعني job analysis? Is to determine all the relevant information about the job or the pertinent information about the job. يعني I will consider, for example, I'm talking about a programmer. So I will have to clarify what kind of task that programmer will have to do, what kind of abilities he should have, what kind of knowledge, degree, qualifications, what kind of skills, diplomas, what kind of environment he will be working in. So it will include all the pertinent, إيش يعني pertinent? It means relevant information about a certain assignment or about a certain position or job. Understood? مفهوم إيش يعني job analysis؟ هو التحليل الوظيفي. I will determine all the relevant information about a certain job. Understood? Okay. The output of this process, after I have analyzed each job in the organization, the output of the job analysis will be two documents. So this is a document and this is a document. The job description is a document and the job specification is a document. The job analysis, it's not a document, it's a process. طيب؟ معايا? Does it make sense? Okay, what is the job description? What is the job specification? The job description is to have a written formal document that explains all the related information about a specific job. يعني I will be describing the job itself in terms of the job title, the job tasks, the job relationship with other jobs, or this position, how is this position related to other positions in the organization, the physical and mental skills required, the duties, the responsibilities, the working condition of that job. So I will be describing the job itself. The second output of the job analysis will be the job specification. إيش يعني job specification? I will be specifying who should fill the job. يعني I will be describing the qualifications that are necessary for filling that job, or what kind of qualifications should be available in the employee who will take that job or will carry on those activities. In terms of their education, the job experience or the working experience, their physical characteristics, their personal characteristics, and so on. Yes, and their skills and all what I can describe for that employee who will fill the job. يعني لما أوصف الوظيفة, it would be job description. لما أوصف الموظف اللي المفروض to fill الوظيفة, it would be job specification. I will specify who should fill the job. Understood? الباقيين عشان تفتكروها أنا أوصف الوظيفة، لكن ما أقدر أوصف لما أقول job specification، ما أقدر أقول هذه وصف الوظيفة. الemployee I will specify، أحدد إيش هي مؤهلات الموظف اللي يشغل هذه الوظيفة. So it's a specification. I will specify who should fill the job. لكن مين اللي ينوصف؟ ما أقدر أقول الجوب ديسكريبشن بوصف الإنسان اللي حيفل الوظيفة. No، لأني أنا ما بحدد واحد بعينه، أنا بحدد specifications، أنا بحدد qualifications، أنا بحدد شروط to fill the job. معلي أنا بشرح بالعربي لأنه كثير تلخبطوا فيها. Yes, even the salary will be for the job description يا هنوف. When I talk about the job, I will specify how much salary that job will give to the employee who will be filling it. But here I will be deciding on who should fill the job. What kind of qualifications, what kind of specifications, what kind of working experience, what kind of skills that he should have to be eligible to fill the job. Understood? So here, it's just a summary for all what we have done. We said that the job analysis, it's a process that will determine all the pertinent or the relevant information about the job. The job description, قلنا أنا بوصف مين؟ The employee. Description, I أوصف مين؟ I'm describing what or who? When I say job description, the job or the employee? The job description will describe the job or the employee. Excellent يا تحية, excellent يا عماد. No يا ميسون. We are talking about the job description. أقدر أوصف الوظيفة، لكن ما أقدر أوصف الemployee. أنا أحدد مين يصير employee. افتكروها كده، تحديد ما أقول تحديد الوظيفي أو الشرط الوظيفي. It means that أنا أحدد مين ممكن يكون مؤهل إن هو يأخذ هذه الوظيفة. I will specify who should be eligible to fill in that job. Okay؟ لكن لما أوصف أنا أقدر أوصف الوظيفة. عندي واحدة معايير لشغل الوظيفة أو لهذه الوظيفة، لكن اللي يشغل الوظيفة ممكن يكون واحد شخصيته غير الثاني، ممكن واحد شكله غير الثاني، فما أقدر أوصفهم. افتكروها كده. لكن أقدر أحدد له مواصفات، أقدر أحدد له criteria, qualifications, years of experience. You know what I mean? Understood? Okay. Now, the job description and the job specification as the output of the job analysis now will be used to do the recruitment process. إيش يعني recruitment? Excuse me. إيش يعني recruitment؟ It's not توظيف يا جابر. عشان كده بقول لكم قولوا لي إيش تعرفوا عن كلمة recruitment. Still I haven't hired anyone. مواد no يا رزان. It's not resources. إيش يعني recruiting or recruitment؟ Anyone? No يا رغد. It's not تدريب. Please tell me what you know. تجنيد؟ أوكي، هي ما هي تجنيد، هي استقطاب. إيش يعني استقطاب؟ يعني I will try to attract the ones that would be eligible to be selected to fill the job. يعني at this stage of the recruitment, I still haven't hired anyone. I still haven't selected any employees. They are still applicants. لسه مقدمين على الوظيفة. They are still not employees yet. مفهوم؟ So لما أقول recruiting, I will be forming a pool of qualified applicants. I will be collecting all the qualified individuals that could be considered to be selected to fill a certain job. Understood? What kind of documents the management or the human resource management can use in this phase of recruiting or recruitment? They will use both the job description and the job specifications. Okay? And they can do this recruiting either from within the organizational employees, within my current employees, or from some external resources like from LinkedIn or other job websites or internships or some headhunters, some companies that or agencies that are specialized in providing some qualified individuals with some certain qualifications to the businesses. Okay, so I can hire from within the current employees if I am having a certain promotion for a certain position, or maybe this is a new position that needs some specifications that could be available within my current employees. If I didn't find it within my employees, I will go to the external sources. Understood? Understood? Okay. Now let's move to the next step. We said first I will analyze the job. The output of the job analysis would be two documents, the job description and the job specification. I will use these two documents for the recruitment or for recruiting some qualified applicants who could be selected to fill the job. So the next phase would be the selection. Okay? Now, when I select, I will, علشان, or if I want to take the right decision, but to select the right employee to be filling the right position, okay, I should use some information. I should have some basis for my decision that I will take to select employee 1 or applicant 1 over applicant 2, for example. So the selection is the process of collecting the information about all the applicants that I recruited, and I will use this information to make some hiring decisions, to have them as my hired employees in the business. What kind of information I can use or I can base my selection decision on? It could be on the information in the application forms when I interview them, or by having them sitting for some tests, or the reference checking. All these are important. Okay? Why it's very important to take your time in the selection process? Do you think it's cheap or not expensive to keep hiring employees and then it turned out that they don't match with the business culture, or they don't like, or I don't like their performance because I didn't take the right decision when I selected them and I hired them, so I'll have to do the selection process all over again? Do you think this is not expensive? It will cost the business from this human resource management department huge amount of money and length or long time that I will have to do and repeat this process over and over again. So it's better to take your time, to be so careful when you do the selection process on the first place. Okay? Understood? Okay, now let's take these kind of information one by one. We said I will have to base or to rely on some kind of information to do the selection for hiring the right employees among the pool of applicants that I have recruited in the previous phase. What kind of information? It would be the information in the application form, in the interviews, the tests, and the reference checking. What do I mean by the application forms? What do you think? Haven't you ever filled any application form? Hello? Students, can you hear me? لا تقولوا راح الصوت. ورقة معلومات. It's not ورقة معلومات. Okay. What do I mean by application form? هو نموذج التقديم, right? The form that will ask you for some general information about you as an applicant who is applying for the job, right? Like what? Like your name. No, it's not application. لا تاخدوها بالضبط ترجمة حرفية. It's not the CV. You can attach the CV with the application. يا هبة. Okay, yes, Yarayan, exactly. It will ask you about some basic information, okay, about you as an applicant. The goal of this application form is just to get acquainted with the applicants, to get to know the applicants superficially about the general information, the basic information about you, without getting into more details about your experience, about what you have done or what you have achieved. Okay, and those information that would be used in the application forms or would be entered into the application forms would be used to take away all the unmatching applicants and to narrow down the number of the matching applicants from the pool of the recruited applicants in the previous position. For example, I am hiring for a marketer position, marketing assistant, okay, or marketing analyst. So I posted this position on LinkedIn. I didn't find anyone within the business with such qualification. So I posted that job announcement on LinkedIn, okay? And I opened that link only for 1 day. During that 1 day, I received, say, 10 CVs or 10 applications. How can I, بلاش 10, let's say 50 applications. Should I go through all these 50 applications one by one? And should I meet and interview all of them? Of course not. I will use some keywords from the application forms that they have filled to match my search criteria about my posted position to make sure that the one that I will interview would be the one with the right qualifications. Okay? Say from these 50, say 30 were from different qualifications. None of them had any marketing background. Only 20 of them had marketing background. So that will narrow down the number of the applicants who should be or could be matching for the posted position. Understood? Yes, Yarawi, exactly. It will work as filter to screen out or weed out those who are not qualified for the position. Okay? And sometimes they will have some, after they ask you to fill in some basic information, sometimes they will ask you some questions like how would you react in a certain position, some of your personality traits or self-esteem, or how you will be able to work openly with others, or with, will you be comfortable working with others, or you prefer to work on your own, and so on. Okay, and this is an example for the job application. Here, it will have here the basic information, the name and the address, then the job type that they are applying for, and additional information about themselves. And here is the education, the colleges, the work experience, and so on. Okay, so the goal of the application, هذه ممكن تيجي صح وخطأ في الكويز. The goal of the filling the applications is to get acquainted with the applicants, to weed out or to filter or screen out those who are not matching or they are not qualified for the job. So the next step would be the interviews. The goal of the interviews is to obtain detailed information about the applicants. I will get to talk to him. I can ask him, what do you mean by this that you have mentioned into your application form or on your CV? What kind of achievement have you done? What kind of responsibility have you taken on? Because the information that were in the application, they were what? They were basic information without any elaboration, without any perceptions from the applicants. Okay, so here in the interview, I will get more detailed information about the applicants, their experience, their skills, why did they change their jobs, what kind of attitudes toward their job, why they want to work for our organization, whether they will fit or not. Sometimes you will receive an application form or a CV with perfect and superb qualifications. But once the individual gets into the interview room, you will feel like no way he will be matching the position that I need him to fill. And sometimes individuals will be not as proud as they should be in their CV or in the application form. احيانا يظلموا نفسهم في السي في، لكن لما يجي واقابله ممكن اكون انا من السي في ماني مره متحمسه، لكن when I see him in person or when I meet her in person, I will know that she will do her best to meet the qualifications that or the skills that should be available in her to fill the job, right? So here, because of the personal encounter, whether it's over the phone or face to face or sometimes through the internet, online interviews, right? So I will get more information, more detailed information about that applicant, so I can base my hiring position on those information, not just what was mentioned in the application forms as basic informations. Okay, also the interviewee should ask some questions. At the end of the interview, they will ask you, do you have any question for us? You should not say no. It means that you're not interested. Trust me on that. So what kind of questions you will ask as an interviewee or as an applicant, it will reflect also on what are your preferences, what are your interests, how do you think, what are your priorities, okay? So make sure when you sit for any interview to prepare some questions before you get into the interview room. And of course, you have to get well prepared before sitting into the interview, as we will see now. Here are some common questions that may be asked during the interview. By the way, don't look at these questions as silly questions that may not appear in the final, because this one or the common mistakes, they came in the final excuse me, last semester. Okay, so expect anything. لا تركزوا على شيء وتتركوا شيء. تمام? So basically, what kind of questions you may be asked in the interview? The first question would usually be, tell me about yourself, right? And at the end of the class today, we will have some model answers for all of these questions. I prepared them for you. خليني بس أوريكم هي عشان نرجع للشرح بعدين نقعد نشرح ونلعب في الأسئلة. Okay? Here, where is it? والله في. Yes, here. طيب. Now let's get back here to the common questions that should be asked during the interview. They may ask you, tell me about yourself. Why should I hire you? Please tell me about your future objectives. Where do you see yourself in 5 years? Has your education prepared you for your career? Are you well prepared and equipped for filling this position? Have you been in a team player? Have you worked as a team member? Did you encounter any conflict with your previous employer or your previous professors? What kind of steps have you taken to solve those problems? And the most obvious questions are, what is your biggest weakness? And what is your biggest strength? If I asked you, what is your biggest weakness? What would you say? Don't say قلب الطيب, please. My soft heart. No. What's your biggest weakness? Huh? You need more into time management. Okay, Lamia. What about the rest? What's your biggest weakness? حبه لا تزعلي. Caring too much? Impatient? طيب, when you say impatient, this is for between us, okay? Don't say it in the interview, please. Caring too much, Yarian, don't say it in the interviews. Of course, ya Abdulaziz, don't say قلب الطيب. To quickly take action, also don't say that. Yeah, I know it's a tricky question. That's why I'm asking you here. Let's brainstorm about the best answer. Transparency. Okay. Yes, ya Lamia, you can say that. Excellent, ya Tahiyya. And maybe you can say perfectionist. Right? What else? Be careful on what would you reveal as your weakness, ya Rawiya. Don't say just that I will work hard to overcome this weakness, because at the end of the day, we are in a tight market or labor market, and there are hundreds of other applicants who are dying to fill this position, right? So why would I hire you and I will work with you just to take on more efforts to overcome your weakness, while I can hire another employee without any weakness to overcome? You know what I mean? Excellent, ya Fatma. Workaholic also is considered as a good answer for what is the biggest weakness. By the way, لا تزعلوا ولا تقولوا مس ابتسام قالت لنا شيء غلط، بس أنا هذه سمعتها من سايمون سيليك لما كنا, I think it was in Dubai, okay? He just said, lie about it. لما تكونوا في الانترفيو عادي، ما يعتبر كذب، بس sell yourself. عارفين ايش يعني sell yourself؟ يعني consider yourself as a valuable product and try to polish that product as much as you can. As much as you can, think within that boundary of that lie. Okay? Yes, it's not a shame. طيب؟ So حتى إذا أنت ما أنت workaholic، حتى لو أنت ما أنت into details, say it. ما حد حيرجع يقول لك بعدين مو قلتي إنه أنت you will work under pressure وأنت قلتي that you are a workaholic. ما حد حيقول. لكن they will pick on you if you said something that they will consider, oh, as a red flag. Ouch, she's emotional. She can't manage her time. She can't control her emotions. You know what I mean? تحمل المصاعب هذه ما تعتبر biggest weakness يا هبة. طيب, how would your professors describe you? What are the qualities that a manager should possess if you are applying for a managing position? And I like this question. If you could turn back time, what would you change? You tell me. If you can go back in time, what would you change? If you can change something that happened in the past, what would you change? I'll start. For me, I will never leave Jeddah. Respectfully. I will never leave my family side. Nothing, mashallah, no regrets. show less work حبيبتي لميا. Yes, anything. Because as I told you, my dears, and during the interview, they are trying to get into your unrevealed information that you have mentioned in the CV. I want to tackle some information that you haven't mentioned, you haven't indicated in the application form. Okay, Ali. Okay, Hiba. Good. So there is no wrong answer here, by the way. They just want to get to know you. طيب. وضحت يا هبة، وضحت يا عمري، فاهمة. طيب. Now, let's move to the common mistakes that the candidates would do. Oh my God. What kind of mistakes that you could commit when you are in the interview? And I will share some of my experience from the interviewees that I've interviewed during the years of my experience, okay? The first one, enough to believe in your tuition. Of course, follow your guts. You should have. Okay, now let's move to the mistakes. What could go wrong during the interview? First, not taking the interview seriously. Some applicants will show too late, or they will not show without any apologies, or they will go without any preparation. They will not study the organization that they have to. When you are invited to an interview for a certain position, especially if you are interested in that position, please, please, study this organization. Know what are their products, who are their suppliers, who are their retailers or wholesalers, what do they work with, what kind, how much is their capital, who are the CEOs, and who are the board of directors. Study everything about it. Be prepared for any question. Okay? Because most لا لازم نفسها يا ماريا بس with altering the information. معلش يعني ممكن كلمة كده مو لازم literally but at the end لازم تكون نفسها النقاط. طيب؟ يعني بدل ما نقول not taking the interview seriously, you can say not getting prepared for the interview. Okay? The second one, not dressing appropriately or dressing down for the interview. And I can swear that more than once I interviewed 2 applicants, والله العظيم, they were in pajamas. يعني كمان قاعدة رجل على رجل, she was crossing her legs and the pajamas pants were revealed from her abaya. Yes, يا عبد العزيز, exactly. نفس الفكرة بطريقتك عادي. Yes. Okay. So please don't get underdressed. يعني حسيتها قامت من السرير حطت ميك اب خرجت. يعني كانت overly dressed on her face. كانت over makeup لكن لابسة بيجامة. أو تكون overdressed يعني جاية بعباية سهرة. والله العظيم, I'm just telling you what I have been interviewing during the years. كنت جايه بعبايه سهره وشعر ميك اب لا يا ماما انت جايه وظيفه, انت جايه morning position مو نايت كلاب position, ما حنشتغل في الليل. طيب يعني لا بيجامه ولا فستان سهره. والله العظيم I'm just telling you what I have seen. طيب so dress appropriately, professionally. إذا أنت ولد البس توب وشماغ أو توب وغترة وجزمة, الله يكرمكم, مو مداس, الله يكرمكم, أنتوا أولادي ما أستحي منكم, ما نلبس مداس حتى لو هو إيش. لما أروح الانترفيو, I'm sorry for saying that, بس معليش اسمعوا مني, you have to wear a pair of shoes. طيب get on your toe, يكون مكوي مرتب, ما في وساخة, الشماغ مرتب أو الغترة مرتبة, والبس الله يكرمكم شوز. البنات عباية حقت العبايات العملية اللي هي البراكتيكال عبايز, أكون لابسة بانس مرتبة, أكون وشكلي مهندم. Okay? لا يا هبة, this is what they think. They came into with wearing pajamas and they were covering it in عباية. Trust me, we are as interviewers, we look under the عباية. أنا أدور أشوف هي كيف حتوقف في الجامعة، كيف حتوقف في الشركة، إيش حتكون لابسة، زي جاية الأحسن ويوم لابسة في بيجامة، أجي في الأيام العادية إيش حتكون لابسة، صح؟ طيب مو لازم كشخة يا عبد العزيز، أهم شيء يكون مرتب. أوكي؟ Now appropriately discussing the experience and the abilities and education. Most of the interviewees or the applicants, they will be too shy about expressing their experience, their achievements. إذا ما انسأل ما يقول أنا مثلا أخذت شهادة أحسن موظف في أول سنة مثلا. She will not say unless I will ask her or tackle her. No, be proud about your achievements, about your gains, about your qualifications, where you have graduated from, what you are able of, what kind of training that you have been trained on. Even if they are listed in the CV, I want to hear your perspective about it and how you will describe this ability to me when I ask you about it. Okay? And here also being too modest about your accomplishments, as we said, and talking too much. By the way, some individuals, whether they are interviewee and applicants, any individual, they can get too stressed, right, in certain situations. One of them would be during the interview. كلهم يا هبة. ما في شيء أحفظ كم. أنتم ما تعلمتوا من الميدترم؟ So, some individuals, wherever they are, they could be victims of being stressed out, and they can react differently to that stress. Some individuals would be shaking their legs, some individuals would be rubbing their hands, and others would be talking too much. And please don't do that, because it's really annoying. Yani, some individuals, I asked her, for example, I can't remember the question, but من كتر الكلام اللي هي جلست تتكلم, I forgot the question that I asked her. كانت تدخلني من موضوع لموضوع لموضوع, وأنا شايفة إن هي حبيبتي كانت متوترة. She was too stressed out during the interview. She was moving from one point to the other, and that will reflect zero control over herself. Okay? And when they ask you what kind of question, or do you have a question at the end of the interview, when they ask you, do you have a question? Don't have the question to be how much salary you will give me, how much bonus I will receive, when will I get my first promotion. Don't do that. It will show that you're here for the money, not to contribute to my business or to help me achieve my organizational objectives. Okay, and when they ask you, why did you leave your previous employer, don't trash talk about that former employer or previous employer. Okay, don't speak negatively about them. And as we said, you have to get prepared to ask the right questions for those interviewers at the end of the interview. And sometimes you will meet, as an interviewer, I've met a lot of dead fish, what I call them. إيش يعني dead fish? يعني she was just responding to the question, like she never cared, whether you will hire me or not. Okay, you know, the carelessness, with super carelessness, don't do that to yourself. Maybe she was too stressed, and this is how she has to react, or her mechanism to anti-stress, I don't know. But please show that you are interested, you want this job. Because as I told you, there are others, hundreds of other applicants, they are dying and fighting for this position. You're not the only one. زي ما يقولوا أنت من آخر حبة, صح? So always think this way. I need to make myself special. I need to pop out of the crowd. I need to make myself rememberable. Okay, at the end of the day, they will, oh, okay, remember the applicant number 5, he was good because he did this and this and this. Oh, don't remind me of number 2. She was so careless. She was talking too much. You know what I mean? So you have to show the proper enthusiasm about how hard you want this job. Okay? And as we said, you have to show that you are interested in the job. And at the end of the interview, what should you do? What should you do at the end of the interview? خلاص, السلام عليكم? No. There are 2 things that you have to do after the interview. First, you have to thank them, thank the panel or the interviewer for their time, their effort, for their consideration. Okay, and just in few words, like, thank you for your time. I really appreciate your effort and consideration, and I look forward to hear from you. بس طيب. Then when you go home, the second morning or the next morning, you have to send them an email, 1 line, okay, just to say thank you. And trust me, this makes a huge difference. Okay, you have to follow up the interview with a follow-up email. That you're saying, thank you, I was honored to meet you, sir, fulana or fulan or fulan or fulan. I really appreciate the opportunity and look forward for the upcoming or to be part of your team or whatever. Okay, only 1 or 2 sentences, not even paragraphs. Okay, and that will make a huge difference. Trust me on that. Clear? Now, we said during the selection process, they will have to base their decision on hiring or not to hire a certain applicant on 4 types of information. The first one was the application form, or the information that are included into the application form that is used or that are used to get acquainted, to get to know who is applying for this position. Now, to get some more detailed information about the applicants, they will have to interview them. And we learned some of the common mistakes that could be undertaken by those interviewees or applicants, and some of the most common questions that could come in the interview. Okay, then they can use some tests. إيش يعني test؟ يعني exams. يعني they will have them answer some questions or do some tasks for them. Okay. For example, we have the ability test or the performance test that are used to determine the applicants have the skills that are necessary for the job. The ability tests are, or sometimes they are called the aptitude tests. They are methods to assess the individual performance in different work-related tasks or situation. Okay, it's not how academically they are good for filling the job. It's how can they actually do the job. Understood? Yani, for example, if I have a typewriter position, what kind of ability test or performance test that I will have them to sit for? I will give them a page or a written page, and then ask them, Yalla, I'll set the timer and tell me how many paragraph or number of words that you will type in 10 minutes, for example. You know what I mean? So here I will assess the applicant's skills or their performance, or how well they will perform in a certain task in a certain situation. Sometimes they can sit for some physical examination to determine their suitability for some jobs. Like, for example, if I'm into hiring some bodyguards, so I make sure that they have the physical qualifications that will qualify them to be hired as a bodyguard, for example. And of course, they have to do some medical screening or medical tests to make sure that they are not dealing with drugs. We also have the personality test or the IQ test to assess the applicant's potential for certain kind of positions or whether they will fit a certain organization. يعني, for example, if I want to hire someone in a showroom, in a retailer like Jarir or Extra, you know, the individuals who work in the aisles explaining, for one would be in charge of the printers, one would be in charge of the vacuum cleaners, right? One would be in charge of the washing machines, for example. If I want to hire one of those salespersons in a retailer showroom, would I consider someone who is good to deal with people or who is too shy and introvert not to prefer to work with individuals or around people? What do you think? I would prefer an introvert or extrovert for the salesperson position? Huh? Yes, excellent, Rawiya. Thank you. Thank you, Amin. Exactly, ya Ali. So how would I know whether they will be introvert or extroverts? By having them sitting for some personality tests. And the most well-known or the commonly used test for testing the personalities of the applicants is what we call the Myers-Briggs type indicator test. And if you're interested, here I have for you two kinds of tests. If you want, share your results with me after you're done. I want to get to know my banati awladi. If you like, okay, just share the output or the results with me. Okay, they will take like 10 minutes, not more. Okay, they're super fun. It's good to know who you are for yourself, basically. Okay, then the fourth type of information during the selection process is the reference checking. After they have screened out all the unmatching application forms and CVs during the application form, and they sit for the interviews and they pass the interviews and they pass all the tests that are required to assess their ability and their personality, preferences or characteristics to sit for a job. Before I give them the job offer, I have to check their references. I have to verify that the degree or the qualifications that they have stated in their CV are correct. I will ask them for the originals of their qualifications or educational degrees. And sometimes I can check with their university about the credibility of their degrees. Also, if they have worked before with another employer, I can check with the previous or former employer about those individuals. Why did they leave the job? How well they were going on with other employees and with their managers and with their subordinates and so on. Okay. And nowadays, it's mostly based on the internet. They will just Google your name. They will Google your name on LinkedIn account. Right? They can search your name on Twitter or on Facebook to check your preferences, your interests. So I used to tell my students, before you go for an interview, make sure to clean out your social media accounts. Okay? And also some public companies like to do more extensive background search, especially when they will have to pay huge amount of money as salary for that individual. They will think twice and thrice before hiring anyone. So they have to check your background very well. Because as we said, you may have misrepresented yourself and you were being too shy during the interview. So maybe when I do the reference checking, I will hear more about your achievements. Maybe your employer will tell you, you're so lucky to have fulana or fulan, because he has done this and this and this, and he helped us fix this and this and this. So sometimes you could not express yourself very well during the interview, and it would be really good to check with your references, and of course you will have to list your references at the end of the application and at the end of your CV. And please make sure you list the ones who will talk in a good way about you. And of course, they will all should be your professional references, not your uncle or your husband or your dad. Okay? And sometimes, and most of the times, but I don't think nowadays, but according to your book, this stage is overlooked. But trust me, it's not overlooked anymore, because as I told you, the market is too tight and there is a fierce competition over the jobs and the positions. Okay? And this question came in the final. What is the difference between recruiting and selection? It's all what we have just explained. I have just listed for you here the model answer that should have been written by the students. This is the definition of recruiting and this is the selection. Okay, هذا السؤال جاء مرة في الفاينل وهذه الإجابة اللي كان المفروض الستودنتس to answer it. And top 10 resumes lie is to stretch your dates of employment in a certain with a certain employer, or inflating the past accomplishments and skills that you haven't been awarded, or enhancing the job titles. يعني أنت كنت admin assistant تقول I was a manager or supervisor, right? Or exaggerating on your education or fabricating degrees. You're only with a diploma while you will say that you have a master degree. So try to avoid those detectable, discoverable lies. Don't lie those lies in any interview or by applying for any position. Okay? And here is the case study that was listed in your book about the recruitment process for Cirque du Soleil. Read it, it's interesting. And that's it. At the end of the chapter, I have listed for you the most common questions with their proposed answers. Here we have tell me about yourself. Why are you looking for the job? Why should we hire you? Why did you leave your previous job? And the rest of the questions with their proposed answers. FYI, طبعا هذه الجزئية دي just for you. Okay, it's now considered in the final. Any question? It's okay, Noor. You're welcome, Faisal. Faisal Husseini, please send me an email so I will remember to check your grade on the SIS. I will extract the grades from the SIS. Is it hard? Thank you, my dear. Was it hard? صعب? Thank you, Faisal Shahri. All right. Tamam. So inshallah next week we will have chapter 11. It's my favorite chapter. I am a marketer, so next week is my game arena, as they say. What kind of email, ya Maria? I haven't received any email from you during the weekend. أفهم يا عبد العزيز، عشان كده اليوم أنا كنت بفهمكم وبخليكم تحفظوا. يعني لما أقول job description, it will describe what? The job or the employee? You tell me يا عبد العزيز. The job description. Answer me يا عبد العزيز. Excellent. I will describe the job. لكن لما أقول job specification, I specify who should fill the job. So I will describe the employee. فخلاص تقدر أنت بعد كده تشرح. صح؟ Well-analysis, it's determining all the relevant or pertinent information about a certain position. كل شيء يخص الوظيفة. Both that is related to the job and the employee who will fill the job. Okay? Sadim, if you're asking about any makeup or any makeup quiz or enhancement or bonus, it's not my decision, my dear. Contact the BCC. But I asked him and he said no. Maria, what was your question that you said that you've sent me? What was your question, my dear? If it's about the midterm and the grade, all the grades have been reviewed. دقيقة خليك عبد العزيز معايا، خليني آخذ بدخل دحين على الاس اي، خليكم معايا بليز، لأنه there was an incident في one semester الاس اي اس مسح درجات students، فما أبغى ما أبغى يكون حصل السمستر ده نفس الشيء. دقيقة معايا أوكي؟ grading view grades خليكم معايا بليز، احنا ما خلصنا. 6301 midterms، يا رب ما يكون صار. Actually it happened not in the midterm، حصلت مرة في final. دخلنا الدرجات بس الاس اي اس مسح درجات وخلى درجات، ما غير بس في درجات سابها فاضية. خليني أتأكد لسه بيحمل، دقيقة خليكم معايا بناتي وأولادي معلش. اوكي عبد العزيز 6301 ليه اسمك مو طالع؟ دقيقة لا يكون اللي في بالي. عبد العزيز متأكد المادة لسه موجودة عندك في الريجستريشن؟ ما تمسح جدولك؟ دقيقة لأنه اسمك مو طالع في الليست. دقيقة بابا. طالع، أنت بتقول 6301 صح؟ وفي الفورم عندي مكتوب 6301 محطوط الدرجة، خليني أشوف جدولك. عبد العزيز موجودة، أنت 6302. طيب دقيقة. معلي أصبروا علي شوية بس بتأكد إنه درجته طالعة، لأنه إذا كان ما هي موجودة كثير درجات حتكون ما هي موجودة، فلازم أتأكد مرة ثالثة. إحنا راجعنا الدرجات مرتين، ما أبغى يكون صار اللي صار في الفاينل مو اللي فات اللي قبله. يا ربي لا. أوكي عبد العزيز كنترول اف كنترول في. هذا عبد العزيز العتيبي، عبد العزيز العتيبي 15. مين اللي كان بيسأل؟ لا مو عبد العزيز العتيبي، شكلي سويت كابي واحد تاني. خلاص خلصنا يا عبد الرحمن، يو كان ليف. مين اللي سألني وقال لي قلت له الدرجات الدرجة حقتك ما طلعت؟ ايوه عبد العزيز طالعة درجتك 15. في واحد قال لي عم فيصل انا اسف، ايوه انت 6101 6301. دقيقة. دقيقة، ما اظن صارت المشكلة انه كل الدرجات داخلة، ما في غير اثنين انا عارفة ان هم كانوا غايبين. دقيقة. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. خلاص احنا خلصنا، يو كان ليف. ما أعرف يا عايدة، سأرسله لدكتور موسى أو للبي سي سي، أنا ما لي كنترول على أي طالب أو أي طالبة أو أي توتر، بس بناتي وأولادي. دقيقة ترى أنا ماني شايفة الشات حقكم، أنا بفتح الدرجات. دقيقة ماما. كمان. أوكي كنترول اف كنترول في. لا يا فيصل محطوطة 19.8. كيف طالعة لك؟ سوي لي سكرين شوت يا الحمد لله يا رب، خوفتني. فيصل فين فيصل؟ فيصل answer me. فيصل درجتك طالعة 19.8، كيف تقول مي طالعة؟ بليز صور لي الاس اي اس يا ولدي. طيب عادي تقدروا تدخلوا الميد تيرم، اهم شيء مجموعكم كلكم الميد تيرم مع الكويزز والاتندنس يكون 15 او اعلى. اذا مجموع اعمال السنة including الميد تيرم والكويز والاتندنس لازم يكون 15، اذا اقل من 15 ما تدخل الفاينل. طيب يا فيصل يا ولدي ارسل لي صورة من الاس اي اس حقك. ماريا انت اي شعبة يا ماما؟ ما في غلط حبيبتي، الدرجات تراجعت 5.4 يا ماريا، الدرجات تراجعت أكثر من مرة. يا فيصل يا ابني الدرجات ما تطلع على LMS، تطلع على SIS، فشيك على SIS، أنت فاتح هذا LMS. طيب؟ ايوه طلع لي الصورة يا بابا، بس هذه مو الصورة أو هذه مو المكان اللي أنت تدور فيه على الدرجات، الدرجات تطلع على SIS. الكويزز ما حتطلع الدرجات ولا حتى أنا، الكويزز تطلع بعدين إحنا حندخلها على SIS، اللي على LMS هذا على CLMS، لازم BCC بعد ما تخلصوا كويز 2 حيرسل لنا الدرجات واحنا نحملها على SIS. واضح كده؟ يس يا علي يو خلاص احنا خلصنا. انا بس كنت دحين بجاوب على الاسئله اللي كانوا بيسالوا during الكلاس وانا كنت مغمضه عيني عشان ما نعمل distraction. لا BCC ما هو معصب، بالعكس دكتور بلال من اروق واحسن الناس، يعني ما عمره حيكون عندكم BCC للماده احسن من دكتور بلال. هدي لازم مجموع درجاتك، أنا قلت دوبي عشان تدخلوا الفاينل مو كم جايبة في المتر، مجموع أعمال السنة قبل الفاينل لازم 15 أو أكثر، أقل من 15 ما تدخلي الفاينل، مو كم جايبة في المتر. طيب بنتي ها any question؟ خلاص إحنا يا ماما خلصنا. check the university website، نزل جدول المؤجلين يا حنان. العفو حبيبتي، شدوا حيلكم يا ماما. يس هي نفسها يا نورة، نفس الشابترز. مع السلامة حبيبي، استودعتك الله يا هبة. أنا بس قاعدة استنى إذا أحد عنده سؤال. يس يا فيصل من SIS. العفو حبيبتي ويسعدك. شكرا يا فيصل الشهري. حلو فيصل يساعد فيصل. وياكم يا رب، وياكم يا رب، شدوا حيلكم. قلت لكم فاكرين بداية المحاضرة الأسبوع اللي فات I told you حتى لو جبت 1 في المتر طيب لسه باقي لك 70 درجة، ما انتهت الدنيا، في يدكم لسه يا ماما. اللي ما حضروا المحاضرة أو ما يقدروا كانوا يدخلوا اليوم أو whatever reason موجودة كل الشابترز recorded على SIS. أنا دائما المحاضرات اللي تكون زي كده ميك اب، إحنا عندنا دحين مرتين عملنا ميك اب صح؟ اليوم تعتبر ميك اب للشعبة اللي بعدنا لأنه الشعبة اللي بعدنا المحاضرة اتلغت صح؟ فححط الكل حاضر. الأسبوع اللي فات كان في يوم تلوث لأنه تتذكروا أو أتوقع الربوع، لأنه كان الأحد والاثنين كان في I think كان long weekend or something so حخلي الميك اب تكون الكل حاضر، أي محاضرة ميك اب أنا بحط الستودنتس كلهم attended، لكن أنا ما يهمني دحين الاتندنس قد ما يهمني إنه أنتوا تشوفوا المحاضرات المسجلة، وإذا في شيء ما أنتوا فاهمينه بليز أرجوكم بداية المحاضرة اللي بعدها اسألوني. طيب؟ أو اسألوني during my office hours أو على الإيميل. أوكي؟ أنا عيوني لكم بس بليز أحضروا الأشياء اللي راحت عليكم. تمام؟ الله يعافيك يا عماد وياك يا رب. ثانك يو عبد العزيز. يلا بناتي وأولادي أشوفكم على خير إن شاء الله الأسبوع الجاي in my favorite chapter. Get prepared the marketing chapter. أوكي؟ إن شاء الله أشوفكم على خير الأسبوع الجاي. استودعتكم الرحمن، مع السلامة. You're welcome يا علي.